Hey guys, it's your friend Kobe here, and I bet you noticed that we're not in the same studio space as normal, and if you're new here, don't worry about it, but I used to have a studio space that was white, and it was in my living room actually, but now we've moved to a different room in the house that we can control the lighting, because before we had to wait till it was at night because the cars driving by the house would make reflections on the walls and the lights would change throughout the day because of the sun position and all that stuff. But now I'm filming this at currently 5:20 p.m. with the lights still outside, but because we have blackout curtains, that doesn't matter. So if you're interested in seeing how much this whole process costs to building this really cool studio, be sure to subscribe because I'll be posting a video in a week or two about that. And if you're not interested in that, no problem. Let's jump into why real estate agents will become obsolete, or will they? So, have you guys ever wondered if the job of being a real estate agent is actually necessary, or if real estate agents will eventually become obsolete? Well, today we're going to answer these questions. These seemingly straightforward questions are actually really tough to answer because a big problem arises. Getting unbiased data is really challenging. Most of the articles written, videos made, or research done on this question have been done by real estate firms, individual realtors, or the National Association of Realtors. Do you see the problem here? Most people talking about whether realtors will become obsolete have a conflict of interest on the topic. Their very livelihood depends on realtors staying relevant. It's like asking oil executives if clean energy will replace fossil fuels. Regardless of what the data says, the oil companies will say, oh no, clean energy won't replace oil because of X, Y, or Z. People are known to twist the truth if it helps them out. For example, we now know that ExxonMobil scientists predicted global warming with precise accuracy in the 1970s. Yet, Exxon proceeded to push back against the movement to clean energy publicly for decades afterward. Now, I'm not saying that NAR, or the National Association of Realtors, is hiding some study about the demise of realtors. I'm just saying that when we address a question like this one, we need to do so in an unbiased way. So today I'm going to present you with the research, not just from biased sources, but sources that don't have a dog in the fight. And then based on this information, you can decide for yourself what your own conclusions are. Now you might be wondering what my personal biases are going into this, and I'll tell you. Professionally, I've worked in the automobile industry, at an investment bank, and in management consulting. I bought one house in which I used a realtor, and I renovated that house. So those are all of my biases, and if you like unbiased, well-researched videos about topics in business, finance, and entrepreneurship, you should definitely subscribe. I made videos about the gender pay gap, the pros and cons of cryptocurrency, and lots of other cool things like that. And in all of them, I do my very best to present the data in an unbiased, educational, and hopefully entertaining way. Videos like this one take a ton of time and effort to produce, and by subscribing, you are making it possible for me to continue doing this. And if you're like, dude, I've only seen like a minute of your video and you already are asking me to subscribe, look, I totally get it, and I just encourage you to watch till the end of the video and decide if you'd like to subscribe then. And speaking of the rest of the video, here's the game plan. We're going to talk about each threat to the job of a realtor and if there's a reason why that threat will fail. Then we'll talk about the barriers to protect realtors from becoming obsolete, and if those barriers will stay around over the next couple of decades. So with that roadmap set, let's jump into the threats to the realtor profession. Threat 1, iBuyers. The threat of iBuyers is often the first thing that comes up when asking the question, will real estate agents become obsolete? iBuyers are companies like Zillow, Redfin, Opendoor, and OfferPad who use algorithms to guess the value of a home and then extend a cash offer to the homeowner. Although these companies get big headlines on websites like CNBC and the Wall Street Journal, their actual market presence is fairly small. iBuyers only account for about 1.5% of home purchases in the United States. So why is this the first thing that comes up when discussing the destruction of the real estate profession? Well, I think it's because it's a tremendous pro-real estate agent case study. Many iBuying programs have not done very well, and almost none of them are profitable. Zillow famously shut down its home flipping program after losing $881 million in 2021. Although Zillow has recently started offering instant cash offers for people's homes again, but Opendoor actually facilitates the transaction, and Zillow just gets a referral fee when a customer sells to Opendoor. But the point is that the argument that people are better than algorithms looks obvious when you see the colossal size of companies like Zillow and Opendoor that are unable to design algorithms that can correctly estimate home values in such a way to make a consistent profit. These business failures add credence to the safety of the real estate profession. But just as it's probably unfair to say due to one company's defeat that the realtor profession is safe, it's also unfair to say iBuyers will never have a significant stake in the real estate agent industry. For comparison, in the automobile industry, even as recently as 10 years ago, electric vehicles had less than 0.5% share of the US automobile market. In 2023, the number is about 10%, and projections show it climbing exponentially into the future. There's a real possibility that these companies will design an algorithm that can be competitive in the real estate market, and when they do, the ease of the transaction will lead to iBuyers building a strong market presence. But this threat only really becomes realized if artificial intelligence and predictive modeling takes large steps forward. But to be fair to the realtors out there, iBuying will never threaten realtors who work with high net worth individuals and luxury real estate. iBuying programs are aimed at middle class and starter homes that are similar to one another. And once you get into the realm of multi-million-dollar homes, the value offered by iBuyer technology disappears. It makes sense to make an algorithm to guess prices for 800,000 homes, but the competitive advantage of the technology falls apart when there are fewer homes with more differentiating features. So to review what we've learned about the iBuyer is that they could pose a threat to the realtor who sells starter homes and generic properties in medium density towns, but it will not get anywhere close to threatening the livelihood of the realtor in New York or Los Angeles selling million-dollar apartments or beachfront homes. But while the news focuses on the headlines of companies buying up properties because they're cool and clickable, they don't talk about how many of these companies are quietly offering lower commission realtor services than traditional real estate agents. For example, you can use Redfin as your seller agent for just a 1 to 2% fee. This fee is about a third to half the traditional 3% fee that seller agents usually request. This 1 to 2% difference can save thousands of dollars on every single sale. And if both the buyer and the seller use Redfin's service, you would save 3 to 4% of the home's value and still get the real estate agent-like services. It's pretty easy to see how these savings could lead to a lot of cost-conscious consumers adopting this technology. And this is shown in Redfin's growth numbers. Over the past 5 years, Redfin's revenue has 5x'd. It's not unrealistic to see that with such competitive pricing, Redfin or other similar companies like Homey could grow to account for a reputable 10 or 20% of the market over the next several decades. When you think of real estate agents becoming obsolete, it makes sense to think of tech companies replacing them. But there's actually a more concerning, simple macroeconomic trend that could lead to a decline in the realtor as a profession, and that's the oversaturation of real estate agents. Over the past several decades, the number of real estate agents has skyrocketed, going from 766,000 in the year 2000 to nearly 1.5 million in 2020. The growth of realtors has outpaced the growth of the United States population by a factor of 4. In the last 2 decades, we've seen a 39 and 36% increase in the number of real estate agents. This level of growth is just not sustainable. At a certain point, there will become too many realtors for the number of homes that are sold each year in the United States. Now you might be thinking, well, even if the growth of realtors is outpacing the population growth of the United States, that's okay if people buy and sell homes more and more often, right? And you would be right, except according to NAR, we are actually seeing the opposite thing happen. People are staying in their houses for longer and longer. On average, people buy a home every 9 years compared to every 6 years in 2007. Now, does any of this information mean that real estate agents will go extinct? Frankly, I don't think so. I just think you'll see the growth of the real estate profession slow, and people will only stay in real estate if they're really good at it. And in my opinion, this culling of the industry would actually be a really good thing. Good real estate agents are amazing tools for home buyers and sellers. Through amazing photos, good negotiating, and pricing a home properly, they can help sellers make more and buyers get the best price even when accounting for their commission. On average, for sale by owner homes bring in between 5.5% and 26% less than when using a listing agent. So people usually aren't saving that much money, and sometimes they even lose money when doing for sale by owner, when compared to just using a listing agent. But as the real estate industry becomes more and more competitive, bad agents, lazy agents, or agents who just don't bring all those benefits to their clients will be forced out of the industry. This would actually be a net benefit to everyone who wants a top-notch experience when buying a home. So will the oversaturation of real estate agents make them obsolete? No, probably not, but it will make the average agent step up their game to continue to attract buyers and sellers. If you're wondering if smart contracts using blockchain technology will make realtors obsolete, most likely smart contracts will just reduce the amount of money and time spent on closing costs. Yes, the realtor does help with the paperwork, so some people may choose to use smart contracts and go it on their own. But if realtors pass the time and cost savings of smart contracts on to their clients, they will keep their clientele. And finally, in my opinion, the greatest risk to real estate agents is not iBuyers, it's not a rise in for sale by owner, it's not smart contracts. It's a tech company like Zillow or Redfin using technology to act as the real estate agent and facilitating the preparation, listing, negotiating, and closing of home sales for less money. But even as this threat isn't much of a threat at this point, despite their presence in our minds, companies like Zillow, Opendoor, and Redfin still have a minuscule part of the pie when it comes to revenue from home sales. So with all this research, it seems like the profession of real estate agent is actually pretty safe for the foreseeable future. Will the number of realtors continue to increase at the breakneck pace of the last decade? I don't think so. I think we'll see a slowing in that regard. But unless a major entrant can really shake things up, the momentum of people using agents to buy and sell their homes will likely keep agents as a central role in the real estate industry for decades to come. But if you have a source that proves me wrong, I'd love to see it. If you think I missed something in my analysis, feel free to tell me what I missed in the comments below. I'm not perfect and no one knows what's going to happen in the future, so I'd love to see any information you think would add context to this case. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're still here right now, you probably liked this video, or at least found it informative, and I bet you like learning about the world of business. So if you want a weekly, well-researched video like this one, subscribe. I promise you won't regret it. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.